Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I'm coming in hot, I'm sure. Let me check my audio tests, doing that. Good, okay. Right, we are doing a Shepherd's fry today, $6 for 6 meals. I'm starting with a $2 container of no nitrate sausages. Cheddar cheese smoked sausage from Fenceline Farms. Looks like a pretty interesting product. Fenceline Farms is an innovator in animal husbandry and manages to amazingly move the animals away from their mother at a key time, yet they can see each other. And that was an innovation that the Fenceline came up with, so that the mother could see the baby calf as it was growing, and it lowered the stress level. I did some research on this, I'm serious. Oh, I didn't want to upgrade to download helper, but thank you. Yeah, here we go. I want to make sure this is going in the other room. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to pause this real quick and then check it. Okay, I just heard myself, so I know I'm going well. Okay, today I'm going to use a traditional bean, which goes with the shepherd's pie. Now these are pre-cooked, and yeah, let me see if I can get a better camera angle here. I cook in layers. Right. Let me see if I can adjust the settings here slightly. It's a little bit too light for me. That should help. Slightly. Okay. Adjusting on the fly here. Well, that's not exactly the color tone I was looking for, but that's better than nothing. Okay, so we're working with some pretty weird ingredients today. We're going to be making, on the back burner here, we're going to turn this on level 3, and I'm going to start with, that's almost intolerable. I'm going to start with an onion. And adjust my camera at the same time. This is amazing. Yeah, I almost feel like hitting the default button on that. That's going to fix it. Sometimes you have to do that. Nope. It didn't fix it. That's weird. Huh. That is strange. That is so weird. Yeah, it normally does. It fixes it. I'm going to pull the color out of it. Drop the lighting a little bit. Raise the gain. Do backlight compensation. That's just so weird. Yeah. I've never seen the hues this messed up before. Amazing. That's better, but it's more black and white. Okay. Yeah, it just wasn't as terrible as it was earlier. Now this is basically a meal you want to set and leave on the stove. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the pan. Okay, let that heat up. We're going to start with the onion. Okay. All right. this for you. Yeah, this is kind of a strange setup. I didn't realize I had, now I have black and white, so it's kind of a weird toss-off, but I'll take what I can get because the whole thing had a problem with just getting started. You know, I was having to default on everything. And then there was a massive audio glitch, which I thought I couldn't believe the decibel level was so high, I almost blew my speakers out. I practically shut the computer off. It was just unbelievable, the feedback. And there was no other device working, so here I was doing technical, updates at the same time while I still have to make dinner, right? So the pressure's on. Okay, so we're going to just put one onion in there, one large onion, and that goes down to the bottom. Just throw it right in the pan. Okay. Make sure there's no onions, nothing leathery or anything in there. And then we're going to take carrots that you can get out of the bag. Give them a rinse and then throw it right on top of the onions, like that. And then we've got these Brussels sprouts that are really they take a long time to cook. So basically get about a cup and a half of vegetables going here. And these you have to actually trim because sometimes they get a little old in the bag, so I'm going to show you how to do that. I don't know how well you can see that with the color scheme I've got going on here. Oh. Try touching a mouse pad with wet fingers. Yeah, the colors are not that bad. It's actually a kind of a natural color. But yeah, these have to be trimmed pretty carefully. So I'm going to just take a nice little knife and cut the ends off of them. And anything that looks dark, you can throw them right in with solid like this, but I like to cut them in half if they're big, so it kind of cooks a little bit better. That way they're not completely, and then they also pass off some of the nutrition into the food around it when you cut them in half. So otherwise, you get that really nice kind of overcooked Brussels sprouts flavor. But Brussels sprouts is one of the cruciferous vegetables that's full of incredible nutrition. You can't go wrong with that. Now this does require basil, but I'm going to go with the Italian seasoning that I got at Walmart for 98 cents. I'm pulling any extra weirdness off the outside. There we go. Brussels sprouts are kind of a pain to work with, but they are so full of nutrition that it's not even funny. Let me put this ahead of here. There we go. That's better. Okay, that's a little bit better for me. Yeah, and the more the merrier. If they're really small, you just want to throw them in whole, Now you want to get these fresh at the bottom, and the ones that take the longest to cook go at the bottom of this Shepherd's fry. They bake Shepherd's pie, and it has a whole different series of things going on, like mashed potatoes and whatnot. But this is my version of Shepherd's pie, and wow, that's bright. I'm going to open up the sausages at this point because they go down with the vegetables. And I like to take the bag and just rinse it out. Now, I normally pay like $3.99 for these, so you do have to look around for these kinds of deals. But of course, you can buy hot dogs and do the same thing if you really are into it. I mean, it's just pork and cheese in this particular case. This is the only type of pork I'll eat, and I'm not that happy about eating pork, but Yeah, just cut them into small pieces, about no more than 1/4 of an inch in diameter, in thickness, rather. Sausages are typically about 3/4 of an inch in diameter. And I cut it on a plate because it's a lot safer. And keep your fingers down and always hold everything together. Always watch the knife. Never leave your eyes off the knife. You can easily cut your finger too, just the way you're cutting a sausage. It's like, oh no, help me. And these are the kind of sausages that don't have a casing around them. We've been using them before in our dinner. I got a really good deal on these. $2 a package was too good to be true. And no nitrates, so that's good. And I checked the farm out, and it looked pretty decent. They innovated the way they raise animals originally. Fence Line did. That's why they're called Fence Line Farms. Anyway, I'm big on livestock. I certainly support our meat industry. I'm going to go with a few more Brussels sprouts. Now you don't want to put the cooked beans or the tomatoes on the bottom. Everything that needs cooking has to go at the bottom, like a long time. So the sausages meld very well with the vegetables as they're cooking. And I'm running at a level 3 to get started, which is very, very low. I'm going to actually drop the temperature because it's going to be a slow cook. But once you get the thing steaming, then you take it down to like a simmer. Let me do a few more preps on the Brussels sprouts. Actually, let's do that here. It's a little easier to cut on the board. Okay. This is my portable knife, my Cutco knife I take with me on trips. It's so good. Never loses its blade. I paid $30 for it, the famous Cutco story. Many of you have seen my videos, probably know the Cutco story by now. Okay. Always keep your eye on a knife. Okay, just press everything in. Now I'm going to start with the potatoes. And that's involving peeling and dicing the potatoes. And shepherd's pie requires a mashed potato. I don't do that because this stuff will mash together in its own way. Yeah, these are pork sausages with cheese in them. Got a little blemish here on this potato. Okay. All right, just start peeling. You can watch me peel. Not a big deal. I'm a pretty good peeler. I've been peeling potatoes all my life. That's the fun part, really, is cooking is the menial tasks. What I like about cooking, and it's relaxing for me, is you always get to see your output. It's an activity that you always get to say, hey, yeah, I made something, and people taste it and they go, wow, that was good. There's a big turnaround, pretty fast turnaround on your output. Whereas a lot of times you'll be working on some project, it'll take forever to feel like, man, we're making progress. But cooking, you can make progress right away. And especially if people like what you're eating. If they don't like what you're eating, that's a different story. But I hold a potato like this, so it's kind of like, but always keep your fingers away from the peeler because that can peel your skin right off. Always keep your eye on it. Yeah, don't put your finger up like that and then go like that. That'll take your finger right off. Kind of like Johnny Depp lost his finger when something was thrown at him. Poor guy. Can't replace that finger. The tip of his finger was cut off. I know. We're going to go with 2 sweet potatoes and 3 regular baking potatoes. And these are incredibly cheap. I mean, I get potatoes for $2 a bag for 10 pounds to this day. And they're non-GMO on the bag. And you do have to look for the non-GMO label. And I only get that on russets now. So they're putting out genetically modified food everywhere. And I don't really dig it. I'm staying away from GMO food whenever I can. But this is organic, non-GMO. Sweet potato is too. And you can get these fairly cheaply. I mean, $5.99 for a bag, a 3-pound bag of sweet potatoes is not bad. They are the pricier of the two. But Sarah only eats sweet potatoes. I don't feed her many baking potatoes, only on occasion. But I'm a big potato guy. I love potatoes. It's kind of a feel-good food for me. In fact, the shepherd's pie is a feel-good food. Wow. A lip turd? No, I look great. Yeah. That's a bannable offense if you come in here and do that again. Yeah. Yep, so here we go. We're just going to go ahead and dice these up and make them so that they kind of fit nicely in the mix. And the sweet potatoes, you want to go with a thin dice, whereas the regular potatoes, it doesn't really matter because they take a little longer, the sweet potatoes do. So what I'll do is take and put the potatoes right in the mix of sausages like that, invert them right in. Let me get this one cleaned up. Little end piece on there. You know, just kind of jab them in there with the sausages. There you go. Now the sausages do have salt in them, so they'll add salt to the meal, but we'll also be adding something to the top here. Okay, we're going to put the white potatoes in as well. Not too small, not too big. It doesn't really matter. Normal shepherd's pie is made with, like I said, mashed potatoes. And we're just going to go with this. Now, I think what I'm going to do is not use the beans today, but that's an idea you can use in the future. Because I think I'm running out of space, actually. Yeah, it's kind of like maxed out here, so I'm going to add the tomatoes instead. And this could be a replacement for the vegetables. And this is a non-GMO product, by the way. Del Monte makes it, and you could put that on top. And just go with your potatoes at the bottom with your carrots at the bottom. But because Brussels sprouts take a little longer to cook, we're going to top it off with tomatoes. Normally it takes about a cup of tomatoes. I'm going to go with the full can. Now this is part of my fast prep series that I do, where we basically just start throwing stuff together. I'm going to throw the Italian seasoning down on everything right now. Just go heavily with it. Don't hesitate. And that'll mix with the tomato sauce to form an acidic base and kind of level everything off so it's all kind of nestled into each other. And this is the necessary tomatoes that you're going to need. But before I put that down, I've got mushrooms I'm going to add to this. Because mushrooms really, believe it or not, are great flavor enhancers. So what I'm going to do is take some of the mushrooms here, and I'm just going to cut them and quarter them. Just a simple quarter like that. So they're fairly big chunks. I'm not slicing them, I'm just quartering them. These are organic mushrooms. I pay a little extra for stuff, but I like to, get organic when I can. Although mushrooms are pretty safe. They're grown in chicken manure, so it's not a big deal. Okay. And what I like to do is put a little bit more water on the mushrooms. Kind of rinse them off so they're moist. You're going to put that right on top of that. Okay, and I might add a little bit more of that onion or the garlic powder here. Garlic powder is essential, and you can add garlic at this point. So I have some bulbs here I'd like to work with. So taking the bulbs like that, we're going to throw about 4 bulbs of garlic in here, or 5. sprays them out evenly. They work, cylindrically to cook and to push their goodness into the meal. Okay, so zooming on that. Let me just do a crush on that. Crush on that. Wow. Okay, I'll put those over there. Now this hull basically pulls them out nice and easy like that. And we're going to go ahead and chop them up a little bit. Dice them. Good night. Take care. Are you going to bed? Okay. Sleep well. Yeah, I had to shut guest chat off because during the show I get a lot of attacks. I thought, well, I need to cook anyway, so I kind of wanted to get this thing running, and I'm glad I did. But you're getting a chance to see how this cooking on the remote laptop is not exactly easy. Doing a cooking show on a remote laptop, you have all kinds of factors involved. And I had to compensate for that. Okay, nice and simple dice, and I'm going to go throw them on the pan to cook with everything else. But kind of evenly space them around in a circle. And then I'm going to throw the can of tomato sauce on there. And that's roasted diced tomatoes from Muir Glen Organic. Some of the best stuff you could buy. Okay, I'm going to take a little water out of there. Okay. There we go. Just kind of pour that around the outside. Okay, we're done. Yeah. Now what I like to do before I push it in is I'm going to add some Parmesan to the outside because it's a nice flavoring agent and it certainly helps with the flavor. And you can also Parmesan after the meal, when you're ready to serve. Now on level 3, this is going to take about 1 hour. So that's a low flame, 1 hour. What I'm going to do is take and push everything down now, like this, with a spatula. And it's going to get crispy at the bottom, but everything kind of melts down into the meal. And make sure you have a little bit of water space so it'll pick up around the edges once it starts cooking. Okay, that's done. Yeah, literally. I'm going to top it off with a little bit of Parmesan. So 1 hour later, it is ready to go at level 3. But like I said, if you get steam at an earlier hour, and if you want to be on the safe side, you can add a little bit more water on the outside, just around the outside, so it's got enough moisture. But believe me, all those vegetables have a lot of moisture in them, and you should be fine, no problem. And it'll have that cooked taste, that really nice mushy cooked taste. Okay, level 3 it is. And I'm going to go head back into the room. I'm going to do a little cleanup here first. As you know, I compost everything. So I keep a compost container here in David's kitchen. It's not exactly a thing you want to smell, if you're like cooking, you don't want to have your compost container open. But I'm done cooking, so. Yeah, it's a super easy prep, and believe me, it's like a quick stew, and it's wonderful. I've had this before, and it's kind of like one of those food items you can't get enough of. And you're cooking with good, healthy ingredients, so it's not going to be a problem, unless, of course, you aren't, so it's up to you. Hey, food is food at some point. Okay. Okie dokie. All right. As part of the short series, we'll be uploading all these to YouTube. Keep in touch, everybody. I'll be back in the other room very shortly. Let me get this thing rolling. Yeah, it's not easy doing a cooking show, but I can tell you, when you have this technology, I got to cook anyway, right? So might as well do what I can to get it to work right. Yeah, Mr. Wright signing off. We'll be in the show in about 2 minutes.